And the text last week talked about the people turning to each other, and they were so proud of Jesus. After all, they had seen him grown up. They had seen him walk the neighborhoods. He probably visited their homes, and he probably played with their kids. He was part of them. He was one of them. And so the beginning of that Gospels text last week, they were all amazed and they were all happy with Jesus. And they were sitting there in the temple and turning to each other with a big smile on their face and saying, "Isn't that Joseph's son? Isn't that the one, the young man that we saw grow up? That is one of us? Isn't Jesus one of us? Born and raised here in this town?" And now we begin to see the change from pride, of being proud that Jesus was part of them, moving and moving and moving to another sense of feeling, a sense of entitlement. Well, they turned to each other and they said, "You know, we heard of all of the great things that Jesus has done in Capernaum. We heard about how he fed the hungry, how he healed the sick. We heard about all of the wonders that he can do. And he's one of us. He's one of our community." And so they began to think and to feel that because he was one of them, they were entitled to also receive the blessings and the healings and everything else that Jesus could do. They felt that they were entitled. That's not any different than what the Hebrew people, the Jewish people of Jesus' time, believed. For you see, the Jewish community during Jesus' time believed that they were the chosen people of God, that they were God's inner circle, that they should receive all of the blessings from God and nobody else. After all, the other people weren't coming to the synagogues. After all, the other people weren't following the law. After all, the others were not part of the inner circle. And so they felt themselves entitled to receive the benefits and blessings from God. And then Jesus said, "No. No. You are not entitled to anything. You don't merit anything. You are part of God's holy community. You are recipients of God's love and God's grace. And isn't that enough?" Well, I can imagine the people there at the temple saying, "No, it ain't. It isn't enough. Why are you doing all of that other stuff and healing and giving blessings to all of the outsiders, all of those who don't follow you, all of those who don't come to the temple, all of those who don't worship you?" And Jesus turns to them, and Jesus turns to us. And he says, You are God's blessed ones. You are the ones that God has surrounded with his love and with his care. You ones that God loves. But God also breathed life and created into His image all of creation. All people. And so God loves all of creation in very much the same way. And God, when He spreads out His arms and He embraces, He not only embraces you, but He embraces all other men, women, and children. Even though they are not like us. What an awesome and incredible God that really is. But even more awesome and incredible is that towards the end of the gospel, the people in the synagogue were getting so angry and upset at Jesus that they wanted to kill Him. They wanted to throw Him off the cliff. And yet God didn't turn His back on them. God realized that they are human and human indeed. God didn't say to them because they wanted to kill Jesus, I'm no longer going to love you. I'm no longer going to care for you. For we are human. And we are in constant need of God's embrace, God's forgiveness, and God's understanding in the midst of our frailties and our weaknesses. For we are human indeed. And I'm human. I can almost assure you that if I go home this afternoon and I turn on my television set, and on the screen comes the word error, you can be sure that I am going to call Comcast. And you can be sure that I'm going to try to be understanding. But as I continue to say, do you understand? I'm going to get angrier and angrier. And I'm going to say, you know, Comcast, I'm entitled to this because I pay for this. So I am human, and I know that. And I know that there will never be a moment that I will not need God's forgiveness and God's embrace, God's grace, and promises to us. And human as I am sure that God will never